I'm like, what the? I'm like, am I talking to myself? And the whole shit froze, and then it turned off.
There we go.
That's the first time that's happened ever. It froze, and then my computer restarted itself. It was
Oh
just like,
man.
bro, too many podcasts, man. You gotta relax.
Bro, we are just starting to get into it. It was just
Oh
starting to get
man.
good. Don't worry about it. Are you able to still post like the first 30 minutes or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah. No, it's
oh,
still
okay.
there. The good thing about Zoom is it saves on the cloud as well. But
Uh-huh.
then also the until it converts, it's safe because you just click convert and it'll convert. I've had so many times where I thought I lost the whole episode, and I
Oh,
sat there like, oh my god, that's horrible. That's terrible, and it pops back up. So Zoom is good by me. I'm gonna
well,
keep
yeah,
it.
you didn't miss much. We were literally just talking about absolute recomp and how we're
And
like,
pumpkin spice lattes.
yep. Hmm.
Yeah. Do you okay? So Jordan and Andy, they have that in similar. You guys, you make your diet actually taste good, right? It's
Dude,
like,
I love my diet. That's
Bro.
probably because I was talking to them. They were mentioning how my wife makes all this sourdough bread, and I was telling them like it's a good thing I don't really care about food and prep because literally yesterday she pumped out two giant s'mores sourdough loaves for people that ordered it at the gym. It's like chocolate and marshmallows, and
oh,
I'm having to smell that in the house, you know. And but honestly, I hardly ever have food cravings. Like Brittany's gonna have a cheat meal right next to me tonight, and it's not gonna phase me at all because I just look
Uh,
forward to my other meals. I got a creamy in the freezer for me for
mhm.
later.
yeah.
That's the
Well,
thing, bro. When you're able to make your food taste good, it just is like I could follow my low day diet every single day and be completely content. I'm never
Yeah,
like, oh, I don't look forward to this meal or this meal's so bland. It's like I remember you said one thing, Jordan. You're like, if you put effort into making your food, it makes a difference. And then
yeah,
I used to never do like waffles and stuff. It wasn't until this year where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try a protein waffle, and I learned like, oh, a little bit of baking powder, a little bit of
yeah,
cinnamon goes a long way. And then now I've literally graduated to like mixing two different flavors of cream of rice, and then I'll do
yeah.
half a Boggs and then half a waffle, and then all this stuff. So it's
It's
like,
trial and error. The problem is people would rather spend the time scrolling on TikTok than they would trying to figure out what's going to help them be more consistent and like just put some effort. Like, I get so many complaints from clients about, oh, I can't eat this, blah, blah. Like one of my clients the other day, the cream of rice is really rough. I'm like, tell me how you're making it. And it's like orange box basic cream of rice. He was warming it for a minute and a half. And you know how if you do regular orange box, you warm it for a minute and a half, it's gritty
oh,
and grainy as hell. He was eating
terrible.
it plain. And the diet has strawberries and peanut butter and all this stuff in that meal.
eating
And
the
he was
fruit on the
just
side,
eating
probably.
plain cream of rice.
So
I mean, it was
base,
probably a block if you warmed it for a minute and a half. And I'm like, it's just but I had to teach him how to do it, which is fine. And I'm like, put some cinnamon on it, get some like a little bit of sugar-free syrup, like because that's how I used to do it before Flavor Gang. Before I tried the first time I tried Bowl Gains, I was ruined. But like,
Same. Yeah.
the thing is like you have to try. And I trained with Justin Abbott. I'm sure you guys have seen him, but he showed me. We show some of our stuff to each other with our clients, and sometimes I'll ask or he'll ask the same thing for a client to send pictures of food. And a lot of times it's like this baked hunk of chicken breast with broccoli next to it and like a hunk of rice over here. And I'm like, I would never want to eat that. That looks miserable. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
It looks
Looks
crazy.
like a
terrible.
looks like a TV dinner.
Yeah, yeah, or worse.
We'll send some of these people their plan. They don't even understand. Like, you could combine this to make it like into
Right.
a meal, and it could taste good. And that's why I gave you all these options of adding blueberries to your cream of rice and peanut butter, and your isolate could go in there. But people don't conceptualize like everything can be mixed together. Like I've even had clients ask, like, "Hey, like, how do you want me to take this morning gut drink?" And I'm like, "Dude, as long as
Bro,
it goes in, just get it in."
it's funny you say that. That's like a big question I get when I give hey, how do I drink the digestion shake? I'm like,
You drink it.
how? However you want. Should I blend it? I don't care. I don't care if you eat it one by one, like whatever, however you
You
want to get it
send them a
down.
video, just send them a video of like, okay, you take the bottle and you do like this, and then you swallow. That's it.
I literally get
What?
that too, Jordan. Like a client, hey, bro, this meal plan, like I'm kind of sick of it. Like, can we change up the chicken and rice or something? And then I'll see on their story, they're like meal 3, and it's like you said, it's literally a Tupperware or a plate, and it's just like plain chicken breast right here, asparagus here on its own, rice on its own. I'm like, dude, first of all, why don't you combine all 3?
Right.
Second, maybe put your chicken in the air fryer. Third, like you could put like here, try this. Here's the link to my flavor game code. Here, get this sauce. Like there's a lot of these people are just lifestyle people too. I'm like, dude,
Right.
we're on Olympia prep and we're eating waffles 3 times a day, you know?
Yeah. And the thing is, it's funny. I have this conversation all the time with my clients. I'm like, have you watched any of my food videos? No, I've watched the training ones or whatever. I had the same conversation last week, but I'm if one of my clients watches this, this is not just one person, it's everybody. I'm like, I post those food videos for everyone, but like for my clients especially, that's informational stuff of what I use is what's on your diet because I like what I like. So if you give me no preferences, I'm going to put what I like in my food on your diet most likely. And so, like, it's super easy to do. And there's things you can add. Yeah, there may be 10 calories here or there, but I know everybody says it. If you can't burn off 10 calories, taking a few
Oh man.
steps, and that's what's hurting your contest prep. Or as a lifestyle client, that's what's hurting you to burn body fat and lose some weight. Like, there's another problem.
It's not gonna
If
make
you're if you're not getting your shape, it's not the Splendor. The Splendor is not ruining your contest peak. And it's funny because I used to be scared to because I was somebody who always struggled with getting in shape. What I've learned, this isn't everybody's issue. What I've learned, my issue was recovery. I wasn't recovering. I was putting myself in the hole that I couldn't recover. So no matter what I did, I would cut the Splendor, I would cut the diet, I would make it so miserable just to look even softer. And I'm like, boy, this is crazy. I can't keep killing myself just to not be in shape, right? I know my body fat is low, but on stage, I'm not giving that look. And the funny part is, I actually got comfortable leaving these things in because of Jordan. I'm like, this guy is shredded. This guy is fucking shredded. So it can't be that. And then I'm in better shape now just because, first of all, I'm enjoying the diet, but second of all, I'm just getting smarter. If you feel like shit 3 weeks out and you're doing 2 hours of cardio, your legs are flat, don't go in there and try to hack squat 8 plates, and do fucking 12 sets for legs. You have to understand that it's not like who does more. It's about what do you need to do to be a better bodybuilder. Stop trying to be just hardcore for the sake of being hardcore, right? It's how can I bring my best look? That's it. You only need to suffer as much as you need to suffer to get in shape, whatever that means. Suffering more doesn't make you, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, coming from the East Coast, it was just about more and more and more throw up, and you eat the throw up, and that that helps you in the beginning get the work ethic, but at some point it's overkill, and then you're just killing yourself just for the fuck of it.
Man,
I have to
especially in a
agree with what
contest
you
prep.
said.
Yeah.
Just real quick, like I think it is important for certain guys to go through that suffering at least once. And there was a prep in 2018 was my worst prep, and I lost 60 pounds in 16 weeks. And I was training 6 days a week. I was doing an hour and a half of HIIT cardio on the stairs per day, fasted and post workout. I was eating 1,600 calories a day. Like it was, I thought I was going to die, but I was like, nothing's going to stop me. I'm not going to cheat on my diet. I'm not going to miss my cardio. I'm not going to miss a single beat. And I didn't. But looking back, I'm like, dude, I was fatigued all prep, literally all prep. But that level of suffering, every prep since then has been like, this is a piece of cake compared. I've been in a place way harder than this.
That's what I told Andy when he signed on. Is like, man, like you've had all these hard preps. He used to like come because obviously I've known Andy for years before I started coaching him. He used to come to me like, man, like all my preps are so hard. All these guys are having easier preps. Like, what's going on? And it was like, when he did finally hire me, he's like, we don't have to go through that suffering anymore, but I'm glad you already went through that. So now you understand how to dig if needed. You know,
Hmm.
when you have to push, you're going to have to push. And when we can pull back, we will, because I feel like his issue as an athlete wasn't that he didn't work hard enough, wasn't that he didn't maximize his sets in the gym, his diet, didn't cheat, all that stuff. Obviously, he had all that to the T, but he was putting himself in such a big hole that the hole was so deep he couldn't climb out of it. You try to pull him out, it's like now he's deeper in there because he's overworking himself, training too hard, not recovering properly, inflammation and stress is high, super flat on stage because you can't even pull off that inflammation and stress going into the show.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would watch guys like Jordan, let's say 6 weeks out, 4 weeks out, and they're training at the same capacity they were training off season. And I'm like, that's impossible. I'm like, I could never do that. That's impossible. I'm so weak and brittle. And it's like, you're actually supposed to be able, maybe you're not hitting PRs, but you shouldn't be that far off. I'm talking about, I'm going from 8 plate hack squats to like 2 plate hack squats. There's a problem.
That
But
was
I
the
would
case for me too, bro. For many preps, yeah.
I mean, I'm
that's
sure it's
not,
the same with Jordan and Chris. I'm sure like a lot of the feedback on a day-to-day basis, like how is training performance? Like I talk to Prob
100%.
every single day about he's like, how's your strength in the gym? Obviously the pumps aren't always there, right? But it's more of like Beatty said, if you're walking into the gym and you're like, fuck, bro, 1 plate, I can't even move, like your performance diminishes that much. That's biofeedback that you need to listen to.
mm-hmm. I didn't want to tell Compton though because I didn't want him to like go easy on
No,
me, right? So I'm like, if I tell him that, he's gonna maybe give me more food, but I'm not lean enough, right? But you got to keep in mind, you're not right in the head. You could be peeled, and in your head, you're like, oh, I'm fat, right? So then you go from, for at least for me, I would go from actually looking in shape, like 4 weeks out, to by the time I hit stage, you don't know what the fuck you're looking at. You like, why? He got lines in his glutes. His back has a layer of water on it. His chest has no stripe. You don't even know what the fuck is going on. You don't know if he's fat, if he's watery, he's lean. You don't know. So it would be a mess. But if you're gonna have a coach, you have to communicate with the coach, and you have to tell him these things because he doesn't know. He doesn't know what I'm going through. So uh, okay. So even with the cardio, doing 2 hours of cardio, like Jordan's doing 20. Wow, how is that possible? I didn't do 1 second of treadmill, elliptic. Walking my dogs was my cardio the past entire prep, and I've never looked better. Right, and it
Bro,
sounds crazy.
I'm such a big proponent of that now, and I know there's some of these guys in the industry that are pros that like, man, counting steps is so dumb. Like you can call it dumb all you want,
That's how I
but
felt,
like,
honestly, for a long time.
dude, that prep that went so bad for me though, in 2018, I crushed my cardio, but every moment I was at home, I was on the couch because I had no energy to move.
Hmm.
But like, so I haven't done fasted. I probably did fasted cardio just to test it out 2 days this past prep, and
Hmm.
my training sucked those days comparatively. So I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, if it takes an ounce away from my training, I'm not doing it. I'd rather do it post workout or train, go home, eat, do an evening session. But every single day, not missing a day through my entire prep, a fasted walk with my dog for like 30 to 40 minutes.
I
And that counts towards my daily steps, but it's no fatigue. I just go and I walk and I get myself moving, get ahead on my steps for the day, and then I can actually hit a hard cardio session later in the day where I'm fed, I have more energy, and it's just night and day different. And the thing is, what you mentioned, Beatty's like you have to be focused on training performance if you want to bring the best physique to stage because that's going to burn more calories. Like
Hmm.
you're going to be so much more efficient on everything if you focus all of your energy and efforts around protecting your training. Like it has to
Yeah.
be that way.
Because we're bodybuilders, right? Imagine toward the end of my prep, my workouts would be down to 30-minute workouts, but my cardio is up to 3 hours. You're a fucking marathon. You went for a marathon, so all my energy I was saving all my energy for cardio because I'm like I'm gonna need this shit. And I had the bike next to the bed, literally, and I would roll off the bed and kind of take like a caffeine pill and then sit on a bike, turn on TV and do cardio like this for like an hour and
Bro,
then get
that
back off
sounds,
and lay on. It's so miserable, and
it
it made
is.
me want to quit bodybuilding. And as
Well,
crazy, I'm like,
I think
this is
like
not.
what that also does to your mind and the aspect of like when it's something like that is that mentally draining and so not enjoyable, I feel like your physique is a reflection of that, right? I always noticed, and Prob actually pointed this out, our first prep, like I would send a check-in and I feel like my demeanor was very negative in nature. Like, I don't know, man, like I think we're behind and dude, like I'm still not lean enough or whatever, versus now I like completely 180 my mentality on that to where like I'm enjoying everything. I enjoy my training. I enjoy the cardio that I do. And I look at it all as like a blessing. And so when I do send a check in, I'm like, hell yeah, bro, we're rolling the new low. This is good. And then when your mind is in a positive place, like assessing your own physique and your own prep, I feel like your physique is a reflection of that. And when your mind is in tune and you're in a positive mind state, your body also responds. And
This is where your mind
the
goes.
same,
Body,
yeah,
body
exactly.
follows, right?
Yeah, man. When I used to hear coaches talk about doing anything less than an hour of cardio, or even, God forbid, they say steps, I thought it was all bullshit. I thought these were all just people with 10 out of 10 metabolisms. I'm like, these people are so blessed. I could never be those people. I don't feel the same about cardio anymore, man. I rather like start the prep, cut the food hard, than add a bunch of cardio because what that does to your legs and your performance is insane. I actually perform better on low food with low cardio than I would with really high cardio.
Yep.
And is you just
Yep.
running your. So now I'm a believer that cardio is not necessarily the answer. And for so long, it was just like more cardio, more cardio, more cardio. And I'm looking at some of these physiques, even the people who look softer on stage. There's a reason. A lot of it is genetic, right? West African people, yeah, the skin texture, whatever the case is. But more cardio isn't going to make you look like Hottie. Quentin is never going to look like Jordan as far as it's just not. But he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to look like
Right.
Jordan.
Play
He
his
just
strengths.
yeah. I mean, Samson doesn't look like Jordan. You just have to bring your best package and be in the best shape you can be while showing your strengths. So
There's
once you
also
understand, mhm,
also 100 ways to skin a cat, right? Like
yeah, yeah.
there's so many different methodologies to get somebody in shape.
Mhm.
Some guys like to do, some guys prefer to do a little more cardio. And, if that's good for their mental, hey, man, go ahead, knock out your 45 to an hour. If you don't want to do that many steps, cool. Some guys are like, hey, man, let me go ahead and get these steps in and let's do that. So as a coach, that's where you also have to understand what does the athlete specifically need for themselves. Some guys, they prefer that cardio because it keeps them mentally focused and in a good spot. Some guys, they want to go ahead and walk around, get some fresh air, see the sun, do those things. So you got to give them that leeway. And then that's kind of where I feel like coaching comes in, is like actually understanding what makes an athlete tick, right? Like I'm sure
Yeah.
Chris Tuttle knows exactly how to make Jordan tick. He knows how to get
Oh,
him playing. He knows mentally, how do I fire this kid up? How do I get him going
100%.
for, and that's one thing I told Andy when I started working with him was like, we got to find what mentally makes you go. Like if I
Mhm.
find that point, I know how to pull the strings now, get you going when I want you to, and I know when to pull you back. And like once you create that relationship, like Jordan's been with Chris for 6 years, Andy's been with me for 2 years now. It's like now that we learn those things as coaches, it's like, okay, I know you like the back of my hand, bro. I know exactly how much weight you're gonna drop overnight. I know exactly how you're gonna wake up. I know what mood you're gonna wake up in based on that. Like all those things are a reflection of that.
Yeah,
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 and that mental aspect is a sign of a good coach because it's just as important, the mental aspect. I mean, it's the most important thing. I mean, think about, I've had situations where I'm carving a client up and I can tell they're stressed and the carb up is just not going well and then their digestion is off and then they're bloated. Like all that's just one example, but there's the whole rest of the prep. People get so mental. Obviously, we put so much weight on this and expectations on ourselves, like as bodybuilders, so we all deal with it. But a good coach will help you stay in the right mental headspace. And Chris, I would say, as incredible as he is with data and nutrition and everything else, it's almost like his strongest suit, the mental aspect, which is, I mean, that's saying a lot because he's a genius with nutrition and everything else. But like the things he's been able to do to help me mentally is amazing. I mean, it's most days he's helping me with something mentally. And I would not be in the same mental headspace and that kind of winning mindset if it weren't for him.
Then you
100%.
show up on stage, right? And your coach has your back. He took all that pressure off you. You're confident what you're bringing, and then you start posing, and everything comes to life, and you're like, "Damn, I'm gonna perform for that guy, man. I'm gonna go
Hmm.
out there. I'm gonna hit these poses, and I'm gonna do my job now." And as a coach, that's what makes it fun. Like for me, especially, is like I love seeing athletes go on stage because that's when I relinquish control to the athlete. I can't
Right.
control anything anymore. You're on stage and you got to pose. You might hear me yelling at you in the audience, but like I can't go up there and hit the shots for you.
Hmm.
So that's what's cool is seeing like that confidence. Like even for you, I'm sure you got called to center stage, Jordan. You're like, all right, here we go. Now it's my time. Now I
Yeah.
get to perform and showcase what I got.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing or if it's appropriate or inappropriate, but I find that my best it's no coincidence that my best clients, for some reason, we have the best relationship. We're almost like best friends. Like my best clients and I are pretty close friends. And it's not on purpose. It's not like we were like, hey bro, you wanna work with me? Let's be fucking best friends, baby. It wasn't like it just happened naturally because we get to know each other and maybe building that bond allows me to know them better. I know their girlfriend. I know their stretches. I know if they went to a breakup. I know all these things that is important in the mind. And I'm not somebody. I want bodybuilding to fit in your life. If you're going to the Olympia, well, there's some more sacrifices. But I want bodybuilding to fit in your life. If I know that you got married this time, I'm gonna try to pick a show this time. I'm not gonna try to make it fucking clash, right? Especially if you're amateur. Me knowing your life and what's going on in your life, even me knowing your ex, I knew what you went through your ex. So I'm gonna, things like that. I think helps the coaching client relationship when you really know your client.
That's
But I
also
think
where.
it's
Oh,
so,
go ahead, Jordan.
well, I was just going to say, Beatty's talking about, it's like I didn't plan on, being bros with these specific clients. I think it's also when your clients match that mindset. And it's like really hard to ignore the fact that certain guys just have a drive in them and you gravitate towards that. There's a couple guys I have on my team right now, which I don't coach a ton of people anymore because I don't like to get too busy and neglect anyone. But
Send them to
um,
me. Like it's,
I I'm still taking some. I just took on a couple, but the thing is like when they have you watch their training, that's one of the biggest ones for me. And I'm like, I'm watching their reps. I'm like, surely he's about to stop. Oh my gosh, he's got one more. Geez, he did another one. Like this guy knows how to pull it from in here. And so like I think I tend to gravitate towards those people. And those are the ones that one stay on longer and don't make excuses, but two, you're able to really push them and work together better when that mindset matches. So, like me and Chris, our mindsets just match. We're the same kind of person. Like, we both have a driven goal together. Both of us aren't going to let things get in the way of that goal. So, like, we just work as a team. And that's a good coach and client relationship is when it's you both have the same mindset for the same goals. And
That's
you're
where the
going to end up befriending them.
That's where, as a coach, right, you can't end up having too many clients either, though. You got to be able
Right.
to have a full amount of time to give to every athlete to actually understand what goes on outside of bodybuilding. And, when guys and girls sign on, I could tell from your first check in who's going to actually put in the work and get it done. Like, I'll use one of I, I had a girl client, she signed on. She was, she went from 300 pounds and she turned pro in figure.
damn.
And this individual, she was not in the best shape when she started, but she's looked at figure poses herself on YouTube and sent me every pose when she first checked in figure. And I was like, this is an athlete who's going to work so hard and is eventually going to get to the end goal because you're already putting in that time yourself. Some athletes, I tell every athlete, please send videos of you training so we could assess that, review that. And some people will do it and some people won't, but the ones
Some
who
people
do it
don't.
are going to be successful, and I know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
some
I notice The like you said, looking up posing on YouTube. I have some clients I've had for years, and their posing looks exactly the same. And we've talked about the things that need to change. I've sent videos on what to change. I've talked to them multiple times, and I've told them to look up, Chris Bumstead or whoever else in Classic on YouTube. Look how he hits a front double bicep. Look how he hits a back double bicep, etc. And I could compare the check-ins from this year in September to last September, and there would be no changes in the problems that I presented to them last year. Whereas another guy, the next week, it's like drastic changes. He's like, yeah, I've been drilling it. I've been really studying, researching, or the people that actually send the training videos, you don't have to beg for it and say, okay, why is your chest not coming up? I don't know how you're executing the movement. It's a matter of effort. Everything comes down to effort.
Speaking of training, I got a question for all three of you guys. What if Hadi Chupan, right, came to you guys like, hey, I'm not working with Hani anymore. I want you to coach me, right? And you're like, okay, send me a picture of your training. And then he sends you his training, and he sends you one of his sets of the T-bar rows or something. So do you as the coach go, he has a really good back. It could be better. Do I tell him that maybe lighten the weight a little bit, Heidi, or do you just be like, this guy? I'm sure Heidi's told him before he didn't change it, so I'm gonna just let that guy go, and maybe it'll be better off for him. Let's start with Andy. Would you try to revise that training, or you'd be like, this is one of those guys, he's gonna do his thing, fuck it, I'm gonna just let him go crazy.
I would have so much trust in a guy like Hadi. Like, you know what, bro? If you feel that in your back, which clearly I'm sure he does, you can continue training. Like, I'm not going to put like a governor on you. I'm not going to tell you how to train and try to change all these things and hold that athlete back, right? Obviously, he knows what he's capable of. He knows his strength. I don't, think he's going to go purposely get injured. But I mean, it's like an athlete at that level who's been doing it at that level for so long. Like, I think the last thing you want to do is go in and try to change everything with their training. Like, maybe like a tweak here or there, but ultimately like trying to get him to like, hey bro, don't lift that heavy, don't train with that much volume. It's like he knows what he's doing, he knows what he's capable of, and clearly it works for him, right?
Yeah. Shit, I don't think he would listen to begin with, if I'm being honest. I'm sure Hani has probably tried, but I don't even think he's gonna listen to begin with. But how about you, Prop?
You can't take out the enjoyment for these guys, right? He enjoys training like that, man. That's his fun space. That's his safe space. He goes to the gym and he's really having fun in there and enjoying it. And I'm like, who am I as a coach? Can we execute the movement more properly? Of course we can. But when I look at your back and he's hitting that T-bar row, everything is contracting well, like it's not like he's missing out on the contraction and his back isn't firing properly, because then that's an issue. Then we're looking at it like, yeah, that's a mechanical issue. He's not actually firing the muscle needed. His arms are growing because of it, whatever the case may be. But when I'm looking at the movement, yeah, the movement looks a little sloppy and ugly, but he is fully firing every muscle fiber that he needs to. That's why he's one of the best. He's been an Olympia champ before. So I would just tell him, hey man, keep doing what you're doing. Just promise me you won't get injured. That's the biggest thing as a coach for me.
If his back was completely non-existent, we would have to have the conversation. But I mean, listen, not everybody's gonna have a Phil Heath back, right? So if he does change it, could his back get better? Possibly. How much would it get better? Honestly, probably not as much as we think, just because he's not that far off. And what would be the alternative? You gonna look like Ronnie? Like, what's gonna? Probably not. I don't know.
The caveat is, could it get worse? Because he's not even having fun in there anymore. You're going in there, you're making this guy so mechanical that he's like, man, this shit sucks. I don't even want to do this no more. So there's two sides to the coin there. It's like, obviously, like Hani knows what makes Hadi tick, and you can't take away that training from him, because he might just stop ticking as an athlete and be like, man, I don't even want to bodybuild no more. This is why I started.
Yeah. You guys remember when Lunsford used to train? I think it was MI40 with Ben Bukowski, and he would create really slow, perfect form all the time. And then people would be like, oh, he needs to train harder. He needs to train harder. And then now he's kind of training sloppier, and I swear his back is 3 times as big as it was back then,
Mhm.
which is weird because his form is worse now, but his back looks better.
I
You
think
know,
I think sometimes back, and this is coming from someone with a weaker back. This is something that I've been like in deep reflection about over the years, back and forth. I would go, a couple years ago to like really slow, a little bit shorter range of motion, like contract a lat really hard. Like I went through that phase, then I went through the grip and rip phase. Like I think there's a balance for back. I think
I
you
agree.
want both. It's like so now I start my back training with either a cable pullover or a single arm cable pullover, and then a single arm cable pull down, then a single arm lat row, and then I'll go to like the heavy T-bar row, where I just think like you need that heavy poundage to stretch and open the back. And so I
Mhm.
think that is important. And I think a lot of guys get a lot out of that. But I think if you want to really make it even better, you also have to have those really critical, like contractions at the back too. There's so much going on in the back. So many
Yeah.
ways you can train your back.
Especially because you can't see it, right? Like
Yeah.
you gotta find that balance between intensity and execution. There has to be a good mix there of like at least having
Mhm.
some type of fire going in there. You're gonna lift some poundage, but you're also gonna be like, man, I need to feel my back while we're actually training. And a lot of guys who don't have stronger backs, I feel like they have to go back to the drawing board of being able to feel stuff first. And then
Mhm.
you can start putting on the
Mhm.
poundage. Like, well, I know how to contract. I know how to feel here. Now I could actually start adding some poundage to it.
Yeah. I can
Every
speak from experience. I think that's important because, like, truthfully, this prep, there have been so many light bulbs of me just backing off weight a little bit and being like, oh my gosh, I just felt that more than I ever have. And
Mhm.
then I
Mhm.
just start like building on those critiques of myself and what Justin's critiquing in my back training and so on. And then it's like once that light bulb goes off, then you can progress that weight, and then it's just like money after that. So I mean, sometimes you do have to break it down, but I think as far as like whether or not you should critique something, it just depends on if that body part sucks or not, you know.
Simple as that. I mean, every exercise doesn't have to be performed the same either, right? If I'm trying to target my lat and I'm doing a single arm row, single arm pull down, it's very easy for me to go too heavy. I go a little bit heavier and I'm like, bro, I feel nothing. So
Yep.
then that's something I focus more on. And with a row, it's the opposite. If I'm doing like a chest supported T-bar row, if I actually go too light and try to overly focus,
Same.
it actually feels too light, and I don't feel
Mhm.
like I'm doing shit, right? So if I'm doing pullovers, it has to be. I'm never gonna train light. It's never gonna be easy. But if I'm doing pullovers and the weight is too heavy, I don't really feel it how I'm supposed to feel it. So some things like I don't do chest flies, a pec deck the same way I do incline bench press, right? The chest fly is gonna be. I'm gonna focus a lot more on squeezing, a lot more on stretching. Whereas the incline bench, I'm not too focused. Besides making sure I'm getting good range of motion, I'm not too focused on the squeeze because it's a bar. First of all, you can't squeeze really out here. So I'm trying to kind of not grip and rip, but um,
That's where it's understanding
progress.
what the movement's for, right? Accessory movements
Mhm.
versus having some compound lifts in there. Like, what are we trying to accomplish here? Obviously, if you're doing a pec deck fly, it's like, hey man, let's push a lot of blood into that muscle. Let's get a lot of blood in there. Let's get the muscle full and pumped. Obviously, if you're going to an incline bench, you're looking at a guy and being like, I want to see you move some weight around properly, of course, without forcing injury. And then everybody's leverages are so different, right? Like some guys will watch other guys on YouTube and be like, man, I got to add that in, but it might not even work for you. So
Hmm.
you got to
Hmm.
realize like what mechanically works for your body as well.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I've seen Andy's training too much. Are you somebody who trains like perfect form or more kind of like?
I'm kind of like Jordan, right? Like I have a mixture. So like I used to be that guy. If let's say we'll talk about back training, right? I used to be that guy. It's like 315 barbell rows, 150-pound dumbbell rows, and I had literally no back whatsoever. It was all forearm, all bicep. And then it wasn't until like maybe 2, 3 years ago I started learning just very, very basic cues. Gripping the thumb over instead of under the bar. elbow drive, scapular retraction, all these terms that I've never really applied right deep into training. I always was just like grip and rip. If I'm rowing 315, there's no way my back's not going to grow. Well, sure enough, it never really grew. It just didn't work for me. And the last probably year and a half, really just focused on nailing those cues when it comes to execution, just basic ones, keeping that shoulder tucked in, keeping the elbow tucked in, driving the elbow into the hip. But then for the most part on other movements, I do try to go, this is post show. So I was just kind of going light and pumping, but,
those post show pumps, dude.
yeah, those post show pumps. But no, for the most part, no, I do train very, very slow and controlled. And I always try to make the most out of the least. I mean, if
those
I
are
can
great shots.
Thank you, bro. If I can, do a working set on the leg press with 4 plates, save my joints and get what I need to out of the set, then, I would much prefer that rather than, let me load up as much as I possibly can just for the sake of, moving weight from point A to point B. So
100%.
Definitely a lot more intent behind my training now. And then the weight is kind of just a tool, I'm not really looking at numbers too much in the gym anymore like I used to. So,
well, bro, you have to do that too to keep that waist small. And that's something that I've realized more and more and really, really focused on these past several weeks is I'm not going to do anything that causes me to have to brace too hard. And I've already noticed possibly some atrophy in my waist from doing that. And also my back's not as tight, my low back. But this is something me and Justin have had to have a heart to heart about, because at the end of the day, what were we talking about earlier as to why we got into this? Because we love this and we have a passion for it. My favorite thing from the start was to deadlift from the floor. That's what I've always loved. And so it's really hard for me to pull out heavy deadlifts. But or barbell rows. I've done barbell rows since I started. I loved it. But there's just certain things we can't do if we're trying to be the best version of ourselves. So Andy, for you, if you were still doing those crazy heavy dumbbell rows and barbell rows, your waist would probably not be as small and as aesthetic as it is for classic right now. I just truly believe that.
I mean, no, I agree. And Prob will tell you, even 2 years ago, I did not, Beatty, you can even, if you want to pull up my page real quick, there's a perfect comparison. Even 2 years ago when I turned pro, not that my midsection was big. It's towards the top. It'll be it's like a little reel of a left and right. It's coming up a little bit. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I think it's down.
Okay. It's a real?
Yeah, it's a real. It's okay. It might be up now. Trust me, when we do find it, it's that one right there. So look on the left. That was just 2 years ago. Obviously, I practiced the vacuums a whole lot, but
yeah, dude, your waist is tighter.
And on the left, I'm doing deadlifts. I'm doing heavy hinges all the time. And now, on the right, I don't do any hip hinge movements whatsoever. Maybe an RDL at the end of a hamstring day, really light. Or if I really want to target hamstrings and erectors, I do a hyper extension.
Yep.
Yeah. But other than that, no, I don't pull from the floor. I don't do anything like that. Not only has my back grown, but like you said, Jordan, my midsection control has gotten so much better.
Yeah, it has to be a focus for all of us, whether you're open or classic.
It was so hard to pull out flat bench, deadlift, and squat at one point.
Yeah, dude.
But I gotta be honest. At this point, I have no desire to do it. The desire kind of left.
I will admit, it's been so many years since I've done a flat barbell bench. I just wonder what it would be like, because all those years of trying to bench more and more and more, and it was my favorite thing. That and deadlifting were my favorite things to do. It just makes me wonder what kind of strength I would have as long as I wouldn't tear a pec if I could go into it and know for a fact I wouldn't tear my pec, I'd be curious what it would be like.
I don't even know how bodybuilders do it. Like when I see a bodybuilder flat benching, it hurts my
Oh,
shoulders to watch now.
I cringe. I'm like, oh, or like if there's someone in the gym that's like, hey, bro, can you spot me on this flat bench? I'm like,
I hate that.
I'm not gonna spot you, bro. I'm not
No,
gonna.
dude.
I won't
Bro,
do
the
it.
last time I spotted somebody on a flat barbell and I almost said no, I hate it when people do this. They rack it and then go like that and pull it
And
back
it
down,
bounces.
almost like my hands are on it, and then they just let it fall back on the rack. And I'm like, bro, you're about to tear my bicep just spotting you. And
Yeah,
you just did, 275 for 2 reps. Like that drives me. I hate spotting people on flat bench.
it's terrible. I can't actually believe that I used to train how I used to train and do the exercise I used to do because it's so cringe to me to even think about it now.
Me too.
Right. Yesterday I was
My
training
knees used to
legs,
hurt so bad.
bro.
Same.
My low back, knees. Yesterday, all the leg equipment was used, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to wait. I'm like, the squat rack is free. Let me squat. Let me do a narrow stance. Let me control it. When I tell you, I felt all my core. I felt core, glutes, and hams, and I'm like, this is why I had no fucking quads because
Yep.
at the time, I didn't know what I felt. I was just trying to just squat 6 plates. I didn't really think about it. And then now I'm like, I feel almost no, and I'm doing it with an emphasis on quads, and I still didn't feel quads. So I'm like, damn, is maybe I don't even know at this point if you do have to build a base. But what if from day one you did hack squats? Would you be better for it? I'm starting to reevaluate because I used to always say, get out strong on squats, and I'm like, it depends. It depends. How are your legs? I have long legs. How are your legs built? For me, I think squats just made me strong, but I don't think squats grew my quads at all. But I had no quads,
Or
no
grew
quads
I
your
at
will
all.
say,
grew your glutes.
Yeah, it grew my glutes. Yeah, you're right. It grew something. My
Hmm.
glutes and hams. My hams looked pretty good back then.
barbell squats are the one thing I think it's important to start out with. I think like maybe not I shouldn't say important because there's people that can go without it, and there's people that shouldn't because their mechanics are just horrific.
Yeah.
But like for me, for instance, my squat mechanics were always so good
Mm.
that I built my quads and my glutes, and I honestly think the way I've squatted over the years is why my glutes are so striated and developed on stage, as well as my quads sweep the way they do. But
Hmm.
I think everybody's mechanics and the way their bodies are structured is so different that not everybody gets the same stimulus out of
That's
barbell squats.
that's so real,
Right.
Jordan. I was just thinking that like everyone's structure and build is different, where their muscle inserts, their height,
Mhm.
whatever it may be. So like for me, rack pulls is a pointless exercise. I've tried it for 10 years.
Yeah,
I only
same.
feel it in my lower back. And
Hmm.
then,
Hmm.
Joe Schmo at the gym does rack pulls with 2 plates. And he's like, oh man, my traps, my lats, everything is on fire. And I'm like, dude, I've tried it every way imaginable. I just don't feel rack pulls in my
Bro,
lats.
I think that's the same concept as what we were talking about before with Hottie with the heavy T-bar row. There's certain guys that all they have to do is put that weight on and let their back stretch out and hold that weight, and it's just dispersing it through the back, and then they just row and they don't need to have some crazy contraction. But like that was one thing I wasted my time on for years was rack pulls. And I feel like it just never did anything for me except for my erectors have always been crazy big. But that doesn't help me that much in bodybuilding.
Mhm.
So,
When I used to live in Brooklyn, I would watch Kai Green squat, right? And he's squatting with no belt, doing back squats, and it looks like a hack squat. He's able to stay upright
mhm.
and knees over toes, all quads. And somebody like that, I mean, he squatted his entire
That's
career.
how I used to squat.
You see?
I could
So
keep in line and have my ankle flexion was crazy.
I was going to say, if you have good ankles and you have that good ankle mobility, then you're able to get into the movement properly and get good knee flexion. Some guys don't have good ankle mobility, and then,
Right.
you work on that before you're even able to squat.
exactly. So I have a short torso and long legs. So my squat, I mean, I was able to be strong, but it wasn't doing what it did for me. So it okay, see, look, no belt, and then look how upright his back. My ass would have been out here, and he's able to just squat, and that's a lot of weight to squat that perfectly. And he would do 20 sets of 20. I'm talking about he would start with 1 plate, 2 plate, all the way to 6 plates, all 20, and then back down. And I'm like, holy shit, this motherfucker's crazy, perfect form. So it's gonna depend, but you'll be able to tell if you have any idea of like my muscle connection or what to feel. You should be able to tell pretty fast. Okay, I'm connecting with this or not. Unless you're ego lifting, like the way I was definitely ego lifting, so it didn't work out for me. Right, but I did want to get your predictions, Jordan, since we have you. Oh, prop too. We didn't have prop one. Predictions for Italy is first. Is it Italy? First
Yeah,
one?
Italy. Then they got Germany the next week, I guess.
I don't have a list in front of me, but we know Quint, Mark Hector, Sergio. What's the British guy?
Lewis Breed, Urs.
Oh yeah, Urs. Stefan is not doing it. I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was apparently just a rumor, I guess.
Oh damn.
He's doing France.
James is also not doing it.
Yeah, I'm surprised James isn't jumping in.
Yeah, this is a long list, bro. What are we doing? Top 5?
Yeah, I feel like it would be too. Yeah, let's do top 5. Where's the list? Why I'm not seeing the list here?
Bro.
You got the list in front of you, Jordan?
I do.
Where do you see it? I don't see it.
Bodybuilders Without Borders, they have it pinned on their page.
Perfect.
Or you go on ifrepro.com as well. They got the list out.
Let's see.
I really do want to see. I do want to see Urs do well in one sense, and it's not because I'm one of these guys that thinks that all classic guys can come over to open. I think it's because of the fact that Urs has had to cut so much weight every single year. I think he's going to show something. I feel like every time we've ever seen Urs, he's flat because like he's had to sacrifice so much size. So, I've seen opinions and even had a couple guys DM me saying they think that, and what Chris Bumstead said about if everybody would switch from classic to open, then the top 10 would look a lot different. He said in an off season. I disagree with that. But
Not
I think
one
if you
off-season.
have somebody that's holding a high body weight and they have to absolutely deplete so much muscle to even make the weight cap, I think they could possibly do well in open.
Yeah, and even Urs said, because his main critique is like his arms and his back are weak, right? So like obviously if you
and that's hard in open.
That's very hard in open.
That's my issue.
If you're sucking down an additional 30 pounds, your weaker body parts. If I suck down 20, I would have no back, no legs.
Exactly.
So you have to imagine. Although, on the classic stage at his 227 weight cap, his arms and back may look undersized, but now that he's able to stay full and keep all that tissue, you can only imagine what his arms and back will look like at their true potential, right?
Yeah.
Let me say this. If Urs is actually in the same condition as classic, in the 260s, he's going to win the show. Because Jordan was in the 260s. He beat Quint, right? So Urs had a similar level of detail as Jordan, right? So at 260, he can actually win the entire show. I just don't know if he's gonna have the same detail density. But if he does, he literally can win the whole show. Like I said, Jordan wins the show. If Jordan does the show, he wins the show, right? So Urs would win for the same reasons Jordan wins the show, because the superior detail, good waist, good proportions, and just freaky conditioning with enough muscle. I just don't know if he's gonna be on stage that heavy because they've never peaked him. Yeah, but if legitimately, you're about the same height as Urs, I believe. So if legitimately he's 5'10", 5'11", 260 on stage, peeled with his structure, he could beat everybody, including Quint and Sergio and Mark Hector. Just what's the muscle maturity going to look like? Is it going to be softer, or be more, let's see, because new muscle, which is kind of old new muscle, you never know how it's gonna look. That was like Joe last year. The muscle was there. He had glute lines and everything, but it looked new. It didn't look as dense as it did this year. But what's your top five?
I'm writing them down. So I have Quint winning. I just think that he's going to bring a new level of condition. I hope he doesn't come in flat. He just looks like it's going to be a whole new level of conditioning. So I think Quint's going to win. I would have Mark Hector in second. I'm going to make a bet on Urs and put him in third, even though I'm hoping for that because I really like Urs. We've been DMing back and forth lately too, so I'm excited for him. And then I'm actually gonna, and I'm sure I'm totally changing my picks from whatever I did on the last podcast, and they asked me this. I'm gonna put Theo in fourth and Sergio in fifth.
No Mark.
Okay.
Mark was second.
Mark second.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
So Quint, Mark, Urs, Theo, Sergio. But I hope Amir can break into that fifth spot. Maybe Amir could beat Sergio. I would love to see it for Amir. And I'd love to see Tim Budesheim and Lewis Breed do well too, but I think that would be my top five.
That sounds pretty spot on to me, man. That sounds be Cooper Cullen. Who else? Okay, make sure we didn't miss anybody. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be those guys. Just what order is it going to be is the tough part.
But there's a lot of guys that can break in there, like Mo. Do you know who he is?
And
He looks
Matthias.
awesome. I met him in the UK last year.
Who's Mo?
Right there. His Instagram's right there in the yep. Go down. Mo and Soar. Yep.
Oh, okay.
He looks awesome. I saw him in person, and he was very impressive in person.
Did he qualify for Olympia before? Yeah, he did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's from where's he from?
See, now I want to put him in front of Theo. Dude, it's hard. I don't know. This lineup is going to be really good. I feel like he would beat Theo.
I mean, with that muscularity and condition, I mean, you stand for something, and he has good shape. Yeah,
I don't think he did as well last year, but I don't remember what happened.
I mean, that's pretty complete.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
and I'm telling you, in person, he looks even better. So, dude, it's hard. I don't like making predictions. I feel like, and I like all these guys, So,
holy shit, that's a good shot. Look at fucking arms.
Yeah, his arms are crazy, bro.
And that was 3 years. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was just about to say he doesn't have like standout body parts because he's so balanced, but I don't know. Those arms are pretty standing out. I gotta be honest with you. Holy shit.
He looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do Quint, Mark, Urs, Mo, Theo.
Ooh,
Is he
Sergio?
Is he Persian? I wouldn't be surprised if he was Persian.
Pretty sure he is.
Yeah, and he has quads. I mean, as good as his arms is, I mean, he's balanced. He doesn't really not missing anything. I guess I want to see a back shot.
Physique, yeah. I don't think his back is as strong, which is obviously why you can't find a back shot. There's a back shot down there, but it's a off-season one.
You see it
further, right there.
I mean,
upper body.
It's not bad.
Not bad, but you can't tell it's not conditioned there.
Yeah, you don't know till it's in shape. But let's be real. I mean, there's not a ton of great backs, right? So it's like in that lineup, who has the best back? Yeah, I don't think Quint has a crazy back. Mark
I don't know if there's a huge standout back in that lineup.
Urs doesn't either.
I mean, yeah, standout back. It's hard, bro. It's hard to go back, man. It's not an easy thing. We all trying to figure out. Everybody's trying to figure that shit out.
Except Joe.
Yeah, but honestly, Joe's back is like that, bro. It's just whether he changes his training, however he trains his back, I just think his back. It's the insertions, right? Because the lats insert into his ass. Like, what are you gonna do about that? It's like it's like Bonac. Literally, yeah, the lats are touching your ass, so it's like your back is, So I'm like, what do you do for back? And I'm like, I don't even think it matters. Never mind. It's just, it doesn't fucking matter what you do for back. It's just So all right, we've been on for a while now. Anything you want to cover, Andy? Did I miss anything?
I don't think so, but I would. Go ahead, Rob.
Should talk about the new rule.
Oh
Shit.
yeah.
How did I forget that? So, from my understanding, it looks like winning the show isn't enough. Is that
Unless
it's
it's
a 25? What is it? A 25-point system?
Oh,
So
it's top,
like
top
basically,
25.
well, no, but how many points if you win? If you get there by points, how many points do you have to get?
It's just the top 25 in points. So
Oh,
I mean,
gotcha. So like
yeah.
most pro shows are 10 points.
Oh, hold on. And this is for all divisions?
No, this
Yeah.
is for
Classic. So see, there's
Oh,
on the right side it shows all the other divisions. This is just for classic men's physique bikini wellness.
Oh, okay. So if you're open men's bodybuilder, you win a show, you're in.
Right.
Okay, good. Because I thought they were saying if you win a show, you weren't in for open. I'm like, damn, motherfucker, that's gonna
But
be.
what I find interesting is that I didn't know Romania was that big of a show. Like I knew obviously New York and Dubai, but they have Romania as this top tier show to win an automatic qualification. So I guess they're trying to. Is that like a normal? Is Romania normally like a massive show?
Not to my knowledge. Maybe it's just like packed, or maybe it's crowded, but I didn't know it was like prestigious.
Yeah, because it's in there with the Arnold, Pittsburgh Pro, New York Pro, and Dubai Pro.
Oh, well, maybe you got some big dogs throwing that show. I don't know.
That's what I wondered.
I didn't know that was
Because obviously
big dog
the promoters are going to want to have the show that is an automatic qualifier because more guys are going to do it.
Well, it's gonna be a big show now if it wasn't before.
Oh, yeah.
This makes it interesting, though, man. Like I feel like what a lot of people are missing out on too is if you win 2 shows, you automatically qualify, even if it's just a other IFBB Pro contest that's not an automatic qualification. If you win 2, you automatically are in.
And if Andy won 3, you in there, Andy.
And you gotta get back on the circuit now. We got points to win.
yeah, now there's no time to waste, bro. I can't just win one show and be like, I gotta, because you never know. In our minds, the lineups are going to be a lot more stacked now. And guys that are ready for the Olympia, I mean, they have incentive to compete because everyone needs to rack up these points. So,
guys are doing 5 shows and winning 5 shows.
Yeah, exactly. And I would hate to lose out on Olympia qualification because someone beat me out by 1 point. And that's one place.
That's gonna suck for the guys earlier in the season too. That's because it's what if they're like, all right, I won 2 shows, that should be enough. But then later on in the season, it's like, I'm trickling down the list. Now I may need to get in shape earlier before the Olympia and hit a couple of shows, so I bump my points back up.
I feel like coaching is going to come into play more now, right? Strategically planning shows for these guys who aren't in these divisions, understanding what parts of the season you're trying to do shows like that. These top level shows like the Pittsburghs, the New Yorks are 5 top guys going to jump in now, where they're like, well, only one guy's getting the qualification, the other guy's getting the third guy. So like maybe those shows will start to maybe even get a little weaker because guys are going to. Terrence is doing it. Am I really going to jump up against Terrence here? I'm not going to jump in against Mike here. I'm just going to waste a show that I'm potentially doing. So I think it's a lot to think about.
Going to mix things up.
But that's kind of. I hope that doesn't happen. That's kind of negative, right? Like it makes sense why you would do that, but that would suck if anytime there's a big name, people don't want to do it. But I get it. No matter how good you are, there has to be some kind of plan. You have to have strategy because you can be really good, and if you miss time your season, that can fuck you up. Even if you go to Olympia, you could not look your best because you didn't time the season properly.
I think all this means now, it doesn't change anything for a lot of people. Ultimately, the cream is going to just rise to the top. So I mean, If
That's
you're
it.
good enough to win one of these tier 2 shows, there's your qualification. If you're good enough to win 2 of these tier 3 shows, there's your qualification. Or if you're good enough to say place top 3 in 5 shows and you rack up a ton of points and you're qualified, I like the idea that it's weeding out people that snuck in because they won one pro show in a week lineup when nobody showed up. It's like
Look what they
ultimately,
said, right? There's 4 guys at a pro show,
with it.
and one guy still gets qualification. It's like, man, there's only 4 guys there, and that guy's going to the
That's
Olympics.
pretty
Now the
sad.
judges are looking at 70, 80 guys. I think this is going to help everybody in the sport who's actually at the Olympics
100%.
get a better look.
I
Like
agree.
they actually look at everybody rather than brush by
And
somebody
be
else.
prestigious.
the prestige.
You want
Exactly.
the best. You want the best
Bro.
2025 physiques on stage.
Bro, if you have 50 guys on that classic stage, they all look good.
Phenomenal.
There's no chance. There's no trend. I mean, let's say even 30 guys. There's no chance, like 20 to 30, like how much of a look are you getting?
Shit, they missed Jordan last year in a 15-man lineup, right?
It was 20. Yeah, it was 22, but it was
Yeah.
a big lineup. But still, like, yeah, I know exactly how that is to just get missed. And then, like, by finals, they're like, oh, we missed him. Let's pull him up. Like, it's easy to get lost in the mix when they're humans. The judges are incredible, but
People.
they're still a human being. They're not, their eyes can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
We give them grace for that too. It happened to Andy at Legion, where a head judge came up to us after and was like, "Dude, honestly, like he was in the first, second, third, or fourth call, and then we realized, like, dude, we completely just forgot this guy." And then they throw you back in, but it happens. That's just human nature, and we're
Yeah, and I can never be mad about that or upset. It's just I would do the same thing at some point if I was judging so many shows. At some point, you make a mistake, and
Yeah.
that's part of being in our sport and ranking up, and progressing. But I
As
am
long
gonna
as
have to jump off here and get a meal. We gotta stay on the clock.
oh yeah, do your thing, Jordan.
5
you guys,
weeks, bro.
you guys ready to go, or you want to stay on a little bit longer?
totally up to you.
All right, buddy, we'll stay on a little bit longer. Jordan, thank you for coming on, man.
Appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
best.
Jordan.
man. I appreciate you guys having me. It was good talking to you guys.
Best haircut at the Olympia. Let's go for the best haircut,
Bro, this is
We-
messy after having PT work done and having my face in the massage table.
Can you be Regan as far as hair and physique? Who you think gets?
I think he's got better hair, bro. He's probably got
Okay.
thicker hair. I'll give him that. That's all I'm giving him, though.
but physique, yeah. I don't know physique. I think you guys. I think you can get Regan.
He
I
can
personally
beat
think
me
Regan.
from the back as far as waist up, but I think I can beat him on other shots.
Not if he's not peeled, bro.
If he's not peeled, yeah, I don't even think he beats you from the back if he's not peeled. I mean, he has a
It's just
denser
his back itself.
Very
But
good.
what I'm saying is, like, my lower body is going to be probably beating him by a lot as far as conditioning goes.
I got Jordan beating Regan. I like Regan though. I'm sorry, but I got Jordan beating Regan.
Thank
Before
you,
you
bro.
go, Jordan, what are your expectations for the O? Just out of curiosity for myself. Like, where do you
Top-
want?
Top 10.
Okay.
Top 10 I would be happy with. And,
That's fair.
if I show up and, it's not my year to be top 10, I'm not going to be mad either. But, we have really big goals for this. I think my coach has an even higher goal than top 10 for me, but he said he's not going to tell me what he thinks. He doesn't let me know or hype me up when he has an idea of what he thinks is going to happen. Like,
Good.
but yeah, but we're
All right,
going
Jordan.
for as much as we can get. So I appreciate talking to you guys, and y'all
All right,
have a
Jordan.
good night.
You too, brother.
You too, brother. Yes, sir.
See
Yes,
you
sir.
guys.
Yeah. I mean, in 2025, top 10 is a feat. Top 10 is a feat. And shit, if we talk about classic, it might be even more of a feat. But for you to get looked at, for a judge to make eye contact with you in classic, you're like, hey, what's up, bro? It's like that shit is hard, bro.
That's why I tell guys, right? If you're really winning shows and you have the physique, go win a couple. Because at least get your out there, get your face in front of multiple judges. So at least when you get to the Olympia level, they know, like, hey, that guy won this many shows. That guy was a really competitive guy at Dubai. Like they know those things. Like obviously, you're still human. You still see stuff. Like these judges know
100%.
like, athletes doing what shows they did, what they won. Obviously, I'm not saying they remember everything like the back of their hand, but like they have a good
Yeah.
idea of what they're looking at.
Yeah, I think top 10 gets thrown around loosely. And for somebody like Jordan, who literally won two of the toughest shows of the year, he's saying top 10. He's not saying top six because he understands that, bro, this shit is not, it's not easy. Bro, if we start rattling out names, there's like 18 guys who can be top 10, like legit top 10 guys. So you can't take that lightly. And what the top seven guys are like, top six guys are like set in stone, right? So you got four spots. You really have four spots to fight for.
Anson,
Hmm.
Derek,
Mhm.
Nick, Martin, Andrew, obviously
Hadi,
Hunter's Potty.
that's
Um,
six right there. So it's like so you're really fighting for four spots. So the entire lineup is fighting for four spots, which is crazy. We started talking about Tonio, a guy like Tonio. We just talked about Regan. I don't think Beirut is going to get here, but Bonac and Curry are guys that it's going to
are
be hard to
always
push them out.
their mainstays. Yep, their
Yeah,
mainstays.
we talking about Brett. We haven't seen Brett, but Brett has won what, three shows by now, and he's a lot better than it's just deep. Nexzilla, we have so many guys that are we have guys who can't even make it here. Like if Nathan Diasha was coming here or Beirut, now you have a whole different look. But it's so Michael Krizo, we don't even have this year. So imagine if we actually had everybody, the Raphael and all of them. Holy shit.
Seven
That
through
would
at
Wild.
that point, 7 through 15 is a dogfight. Like guys were fighting
bro.
for
You're not going to convince 15th place that he should be proud of himself, but
shit.
he really should be, bro.
Man, even just getting to Olympia in the open class, man, you should be
Oh
proud of yourself. That's
man,
no easy feat anymore. Like even for
100%.
classic, I tell guys like, dude, that's not easy. Like you might have snuck in, but like, even for me and Andy, like I told him, our goal is to consistently make the Olympia now. Now we've made a
I
mark this year.
mean,
Let's make it year by year, like because you want to solidify yourself, and especially like with him when you got 10 pounds to add to the cap. It's like that's a lot of weight, man. It's a lot of weight to move.
oh, you still have 10 pounds to play with?
Pretty
So
much from like our fully depleted weight. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, that's a lot, bro. That's a lot. So if you're able to win two shows being 10 pounds below, that says a lot because most people winning shows are at the cap.
Hmm.
So that says a lot. So you could be a completely different bodybuilder,
Yep.
yeah,
and then
at that point, bring up the back, bring up the arms. And then other than that, that was feedback from all three shows. Just, a little more back, get the arms a little bigger. And then from there, it's like we like everything else. And like, even looking back at the scorecards, like Andy competed at three shows back to back to back weekends. And it's like, he won three shows and he perfect scored all three. Not saying like,
oh,
it's like one of those things where like now we know what we have to fix and we have the weight to add to those areas. Like even right now, like I mean, I don't know if he wants me to really talk about it, but he's 225 right now, and he's probably in the same condition as he was depleted for when he first competed, when he started his season for his first win.
damn.
Because he held his reverse and took care of business. And then from there now it's like just a dogfight. Let's get those points up and let's win two shows and qualify for the O.
And you're only 26.
Yeah.
Oh, so he had a really high ceiling for the sport. What 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 do you? I know it's hard to answer this, but what do you see as your ceiling for the sport? Like, do you feel like you have any limitations at all before you get into the top of the sport?
Ultimately, I try not to put any limitations on myself, and I feel like, like with the team that I have, and like, the time frame and the runway that we have as far as like what my age is and the weight cap and all that, I feel like if I just continue to improve, I mean, who knows? Who knows what the
Mm-hmm.
division looks like in 3-4 years? Some of these
That's
guys
true.
might retire, they might move to a different division, and next thing you know, I'm in the top five, and then from there, it's just like Prop said, it's millimeters. Someone comes off, I come in at my best. I mean, who's to say I can't win an Olympia?
I think the craziest thing for Andy that people don't realize, man, and I don't blow smoke up clients, none of that stuff, because it doesn't, we all see it on stage.
Mhm.
when people will see him in person, they'll notice there's a different quality of skin texture and muscularity there. Like when you see it on Instagram, you don't get the full visuals of it. When you see it on stage standing next to other classic guys who are really good athletes, there's
Mhm.
a different level of detail. Side leg, how dry and hard it is, through the backside, like how dry and hard it gets, like, and that's something that's a genetic component that you either have or you don't. You look at guys like Josema and all these guys, and some guys have it and some guys don't.
I
And at
agree.
26 years old, I think when you have something like that, and then you do have the shape and structure paired with it, that's where you could be a really big threat, in the sport to the higher level guys. Obviously, like we have realistic expectations. Me and Andy have set them going into the Olympia, first Olympia ever. Like, I don't mind saying, yeah, I personally want to see him in the top 15. That's
Mhm.
that's where I want to see him as a coach because I know the guys who are at the top of the game right now, and it's like, okay, cool. We still have 10. I mean, after this show, we probably honestly have like maybe 3 or 4 pounds left to play with in the cap, which is still a lot of weight, but we
Mhm.
filled in some gaps. Um, but the skin texture is what people will see when they see him in person. Of like, wow, that quality is different.
Yeah, I feel like you have to have that to be to be like a first call out guy. There's a level of genetics that if you don't have it, if you don't have like the skin quality, that crazy detail. One of the video that pulled up, because in the pictures sometimes you can't see it, but there was a video. It was a high quality when Andy was like kind of like flexing, and I was like, what the fuck? And you see like crazy detail. Some of that, if you don't got it, you can't stand next to, right? You can't stand next to some of these guys if you don't have
How are
that.
you gonna, if you don't have the skin texture, how are you gonna stand next to Mike, Terrence, Josema, even Niall Darwin? Like he's phenomenal. Like, these
Mhm.
guys are a different cut of the cloth, and you have to have something that everybody else doesn't have to put you in that upper echelon in the mix.
100%. Pictures, even videos, even Gilco videos, you don't realize what you're looking at till you see it in person. Because anytime I go to the show, what I see, as impressive as it looks on video, you have no clue. When people sit there and be like, "Oh, these guys this year, I don't know, I don't think they're in shape," and you're like, "Bro, you have no idea what you say." I know what you're trying to say, but you're looking at this stream, you have no idea what that actually looks like. None of these Olympians are out of. You're not placing out of shape. Like let's get rid of that. You're not even turning pro out of shape. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like so, let's. None of these guys. Samson is in shape. Okay, Samson. Does he look like Hottie in the chest? No, but these guys are all peeled. It's just different
Mhm.
levels of skin texture and shit. But all these guys looking great. Just seeing Andrew at Texas, and I'm thinking this is a guy that people say is out of shape, and I know what they mean. Don't get me wrong, but you're looking at the detail and the skin texture, and you're like, that looks pretty peeled. Now then, when
Also,
Jordan, huh?
there's also a false sense of expectation, right? Like I want to see Andrew in Hottie's condition, but we also got to remember Andrew's 300 something pounds and he's round and he's full and he's bubbly and that's his strengths, like people want the full package for these guys on stage. And, we want to turn a guy like Samson into the conditioning of Nick Walker. And it's like, but no, Samson, like his attributes
Exactly.
stick out because of who he is.
We don't realize what we're asking for. We're asking for the like literally like the greatest. But we're asking for Ronnie Coleman and Phil Heath here. Phil Heath was able to be that full and that detailed. That's why he's Phil Heath. So if we're gonna say we want you to look like Samson in Hottie condition, we're asking for one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, and that's we can't expect that. We can expect him to be. I mean, a little bit better, but there's a look that is just, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
Boys,
I think, mhm.
I got a massage I got to go to here
Oh,
in a
yeah,
minute,
yeah.
so I'm gonna have to jump off. But y'all two
Let's head
chatted
out.
up. I appreciate the kind words and had fun on the pod. And then shit, I'm down to bring Prob on whenever because it's definitely good. And then I want to bring Jordan on again. And then I don't know if you want to film Sunday, Beatty, but we could film
Yeah,
like
yeah.
5 p.m. or have Joe on again or whatever. I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do Sunday. Of course, Joe. Let's see if we do Ken maybe. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We'll
Cool.
see.
For
All
sure.
right,
For sure.
y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Prop, nice to
Yep,
meet you,
yep.
brother.
Hey,
Yes,
All
Beatty,
right,
sir.
then.
you're welcome.
Yep.
You guys have
Yes, sir.
fun.